everybody. Welcome back to season 3 of Devil's Advocate Trades Edition. I'd love to say another episode, but we're season 3, so this is episode 1. So we always talk about taking the wins. This is a win, but I'll tell you what's not a win. I woke up this morning and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't do a podcast. And I'm like, it would have already been sent out Denver time. Pooh. Which is technically still my time. It's like 5 a.m. my time. So I'm like, woke up at some weird hour, like 4:45, and my dog was standing at my stairs looking down. And I'm like, I really don't have time for the supernatural today. Really don't. I just want to stay here. You know, when you wake up and you're like in that little cocoon that you've created somehow in your sleep and you're like so comfy, and it's the ones that you like debate whether you want to go to the bathroom or not because you're so comfortable. I was like, and I was like, well, I guess I'm good now. And then I realized that this one wasn't pre-recorded. We recorded it today. So I'm like, way to take the wins, Lise. Yeah, you did. So we got a new year. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm moving into my new year. I wouldn't say differently, that whole like new year, new me. No, you're fucking lucky if you get the same me at this point. All right. Like there's so much crazy going on in the world. You're just lucky if it's me, the bubbly, silly person who likes to laugh all the time. But, there are some really cool things that are changing. So I did join the board of directors for ACMA, which is the Association of Condominium Managers of Alberta. I'm on the board for that. I always told myself I wasn't going to do board stuff. I'm on the board for that. And I'm the secretary, and I'm doing a lot of things in social media. I'm like their social media person, and I'm trying to get everything figured out with the website. But I also have to go through meetings with my board because as a board, you have to collectively decide. You can't just do things willy-nilly. So that's something that I need to go through when we're doing some stuff when it comes to some of the online presence. But I'll tell you why I did it. I did it because, so in my niche, I'm condo. Condo is predominantly property manager. People be like, oh, that's a really good sales thing. But it's not. The whole reason I created my niche was to help support property managers and protect owners like condo owners and stakeholders. And property managers are the ones that are supposed to be doing your day-to-day. They're supposed to be doing your day-to-day organizing of your property. So they're overseeing your property. They're your advocate for everything that goes on operational and reserve. And they make sure that everything's kind of in order. If you're self-managed, that you know how much work it is. And, so property managers don't do projects that are designed to just focus on one thing. They do all of it. They do the whole property, not just certain things that are on the property. So they get bombarded when there's construction projects, predominantly, whether it's maintenance or whatnot. They get bombarded with owner calls and owner emails and, residents and all kinds of things that are going on. And they don't have the time, nor do they have a lot of the knowledge because they're not equipped to understand construction. That's not their job. Their job is to understand property, as in how to make sure you have what your accountings are, what your budgeting is, what maintenance programs you require, what the policies are, bylaws are, if there's rules the board has created, the Condo Act. These are things that they need to understand. And then they also need to do a lot of conflict resolution on sites. And that takes a lot out of people. So they do have a high burnout job. And the last thing that I want to do is come in and create more stress. So I'm trying to come in and create less stress. So because that's my niche, is to help create less stress in the property management world, but also protect the owners and give them all of the information so they can make sound decisions. Why wouldn't I step on a board of directors to help, push that mission forward of helping managers, building them up, giving them a place where they can land to do more education and really become an amazing property manager. Right now, your licensing just gets you to be property management, like your condo management license. You're just a condo manager. But what I know myself and my other board members have talked about is making ACMA something bigger. It's more than just a landing pad. It's where you go for support and resources and further education inside of the condo industry to help you be an amazing manager. And so for me, that made the most sense. This isn't, a lot of people will be like, well, people join boards for this and that. And you know what? Some people do. Some people join boards to get more exposure and more this and more that. For me, it's about giving back. people that I know inside of the industry that are sitting on boards, that's how they look at it. It's giving back to the industry that they, for lack of a better term, take from. And they say, you know what, I want to be able to give back because this is where I do have my company, and this industry has given me so much that I want to give my time and give resources back to the industry that requires it in areas where it's needed. So this is fun. So I'm on the board for that. I unfortunately had to step away from CCI. I'm still a member of the South chapter, but I did step away from all of my committee roles. It saddens my heart, but I have to, you get pulled in so many directions, right? So a business owner, a podcaster, a mom, and then you've got, you sit on the board for ACMA, and then you sit on, and then you also do all of the moderating for COF, and then you do the moderating for CCI, plus you sit on other committees. It's too much. Like, it's just, where's your time, right? So I had to pick one, and I picked that I would stay on with COF because I really built COF on my own accord. The leadership at COF was like, Lisa, just take it and go. And I did, and I built something really great at COF, and I've got a very, what's the word I'm looking for? My brain stopped. I've got a very prominent membership. They've got, some regulars. I've got some newbies that come in back and forth, and they all ask amazing pointed questions to the speakers. I believe that these people are taking away more than what some people would say, because a lot of people say, well, if you give something away for free, people aren't going to learn anything. And that might be the case in certain aspects, in certain industries, in certain fields. But in this case, I know the membership is learning something. I know there's a takeaway for this. So you can schedule into my COF chats, and they're free of charge to go to, but you can't go back and watch the video unless you're a member with COF. So there's the catch, right? They're like, what's the catch? That's the catch. If you want to go back and rewatch one, you can't unless you're a member. And there's nothing wrong with being a member. Like, I think this year I'm looking at probably sponsoring both the ACMA and and COF. I'll probably sponsor both of them. Just because I think it's good to, the more money that these non-for-profits can bring in, the more exposure they can get for different avenues, right? So they can put money towards more education. They can put it towards more advertising of where people can go and get some more information of what they need to in regards to their condos or into their units, or just people in general, because condo management's peopling, right? That's what it is. So, and it's not an easy job. And I will tell you that anything that is peopling, anybody who works in the industry where people are prominent, it is not easy. You get tired, you get burnt out. People are crazy, especially now. There's more crazy in the world than there was at one time, or maybe they were just really silent about it. It's like, it's always been there, but now there's more opportunity to be vocal. And I'm like, oh, maybe that's what it is. But anyway, so that's what's going on for the new year for me. And then obviously, of course, still running my LPM. I redid my website, and oh my God. So I went and gave Bluehost these kudos, and then they just kept fucking up my website, and they wouldn't point it, or the DSS was wrong, or this or that. And here's the thing. I'm not going to go backwards on what I think about Bluehost. They still, the customer service is still great. And they fixed it, and they got my website back up and going. And I'm like, thank God. I'm like, this hurts my business. Please don't do that. So, and they're like, oh yeah, no problem. And so they get it going again. But for me, it shouldn't be a problem. You know what I mean? Like, I had my website built outside of Bluehost, and then it was put in, and then it was supposed to point towards the website, and it keeps, for some reason, falling off. And I'm like, why? So I'm hoping there will be no more problems. Let's start there. Let's start and finish there. I hope there's no more problems. Bluehost, please make sure there's no more problems. But other than that, like I said, the customer service is always great. Now, for the rest of us, do not do the new year, new me. And oh my God, I'm seeing so many reels of it's not the new year anyway. The new year starts in April, and it's because of the Gregorian calendar and blah, 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 blah. Believe what you want, you guys. I believe, so I'll tell you something. When I went to Mexico for the first time, and I went to Tulum, and I went and did the ruins of Tulum, the incredible story that was told by my guide, I loved it. Any of you guys that have had an opportunity to go to Tulum and get a tour, and they tell you the ancient history of Tulum, and how they, kept track of time and how they knew when to do all the different things and the moon cycles and everything. And I'm like, I 100% believe that aspect. Now, when would my birthday be? No fucking idea, because it would go to a 28-day calendar and I'm born on the 29th. Does that mean I'm like May 1st? Like, I don't know. So, or April 1st? I guess it would be April 1st. Anyway, regardless. No, would it be? I don't know. Yeah, it would be April 1st. I had to think about it for a second. So I'm just like, do I believe that everything happens with moon cycles? Moon is connected to the emotions, and that's how our work days go, and that's how everything in life has a cycle that moves forward within every 28 days, and this, that, and the other. Yes, I do. I believe that there's reasons for that. And I think a lot of people took that away because I think ego plays a really big part on what people want. It's like, I want it to be this, so it's going to be this. And unfortunately, that happens to be a lot of the male side. And I'm sorry, all the gentlemen that are not these crazy people, but it's like the not all men, it's like some of them are okay. The rest of them are a little lulu. But then that's also goes for women too, right? Like I can't just be like, oh, well, it's only men. So I've met some really, egotistical women. I've been an egotistical woman from time to time. Like I've been there where I think my shit don't stink and I think I'm the best thing since fucking sliced bread. And then you kind of get smacked upside the head by someone more senior than you. And when I say more senior, I mean more senior in industry, more senior in not just life, like in multiple facets. And you get a kick in the ass by someone, and they're female and they're like, fucking slow your roll, kid. And you're like, yeah. Now, some people take it as fuck you, old lady. And some people take it as, yeah, you know what? You're right. I need to be more humble. I need to be more grateful. I need to be, less of that and more of this. And so I've met those women now being more on a humbler journey and being more present and listening to people and wanting to be this, person that does all these wonderful things for all these different associations. And just in general, I've got that giver vibe. It's giver vibe sucks. I'm not going to tell you. Like, it's like, oh, you give because it makes you feel good. Sometimes, sometimes I feel great about giving. Other times I don't. Other times I get used. Most of the time I get used. And then people are like, oh, we're going to mistake this for weakness. And or like, there's a self-esteem issue. No, there's no fucking self-esteem issue. Let me tell you, I wake up every morning and I'm like, fuck, you look cute today, girl. There's no self-esteem issue over here. And there's no self-worth issue. Do you know what it is? It's because I'm just a nice fucking person. That's why. And I'm a fixer. And it was funny. I was reading this meme and I sent it to my brother. And it was like two siblings that grow up in a chaotic house. One tries to fix everybody and the other one silently fucking leaves and stays disappeared. And I was like, holy fuck, dude. And I sent it to him because he fucking moved away and he's like, man, living his best life. And I'm over here trying to fix everybody. And he's like, 100%. And I'm like, stop it. I feel so attacked. Stop calling me out. So, but I think that's what happens is that we try to fix situations. I stopped trying to fix people because, you grow up in that era, the 80s, 90s era where everyone's like, oh, you got to find a husband to fix. Fuck that shit. I've already been there, done that, burn the t-shirt. Like, no thanks. There's no fixing people. Fixing situations. That's my favorite thing to do, is fixing situations. So, but I get used for that. So I fix a situation and then people utilize me to fix their situation and then fuck me over some way. And that just seems to be the trend. So I'm like, being a giver has its downfalls. It's a good thing because you know how to do it. And I know that every person out there that has given their time and their support and their energy and their love and their time away from people they care about can honestly sit here and say, yes, I have given my time. I've given all this to somebody to help them, whether it be family, friends, colleagues, whatever. And someone decides, oh, I don't really need to do anything else for this person, or I'm going to fight them on, if they ask me for anything, or I'm not going to, and it's like, that's how it always goes, right? So we create the monsters and then we put in a boundary and then we're the fucking bad guy. And it's like, we wouldn't have had to put in a boundary if you didn't, turn into a dick. Like, like the boundaries come in because you kept taking And we needed to say, oh, no, settle down. So anyway, I digress because I squirrel. So anywho, basically what I'm saying to you guys is that at the end of the day, don't do the new you, new me, or new year, new me thing. Like, and like this and the calendar thing. I totally believe that. But at the same time, the calendar is what it is right now. We're moving on a different calendar. If you spiritually want to move on to the other calendar, then fine, then move on to it. I don't care. I mean, I just find it interesting that there's so much going on in the world, but all of these teachings that have been around forever are now becoming more prominent. And so they should be. There's a reason why those teachings are still around. There's a reason why people are, keeping them alive and real. And like I said, like if you go down into the different countries, especially third world countries, and you listen to their teachings, it's not like, you're not like, oh yeah, that's not fucking right. Unless you're like wickedly, I don't know, religious. And even then, like most of the third world countries are religious, but they're not crazy religious. And when I say crazy, hear me out. When I say crazy, I don't mean like Christian nationalist crazy. I mean like they're just very big on like God or Maria. Well, Mary, they call her like Maria, right? But Mary and Joseph and all that. Joseph doesn't get a lot of recognition in religion though. He was just the guy that stayed, currently, like, let's be honest, if this was like today's day and age, he'd be called like a cuckold. Like that's what he'd be called. And everyone's like, oh, he stayed with Mary and she raised the son of God. And it's like, did that really happen? Like, did that really happen? Like, let's be honest, if it happened today, like Joseph would be like, listen, we get a paternity test, okay? Like that's what's happening today. I'm sorry, I don't mean to make a joke about it. Actually, I do because I think things should be kept light because too many people get upset. Anyways, religion is not something I should talk about because I'll make too many people angry about it. And it's just my opinion. You can have whatever opinion you want. But anyhow, there's a reason why the third world countries and other countries that aren't just North America, but I mean, in the Americas, there are third world countries and their teachings and their cultures are so rich and so fascinating that to me, like you can't, like they have a Mayan calendar and I'm like, I like the Mayan calendar. I'm not gonna lie, I like the Mayan calendar. I bought like jewelry and shirts with the Mayan calendar on it because I loved the story, which are the teachings of how they used to do things and how some of them still do. And I'm like, absolutely, I'm sold. Like it makes sense to me, But anyhow, you do what you want. You want to start doing stuff in the spring, you should. I don't think too many people should start doing I'm going to do all the regiments on the 1st of January because we know that busts out by February or second week in January. I think it's too much pressure, especially when we are still technically in winter season. I think doing something in spring because spring is renewal, right? It's the rebirth of the earth and whatnot. So I think that's probably the best time to say to yourself, you know what? I think I'm going to go on my little health kick. Why? The weather's better, especially in fucking Alberta. Then I can take my dog for an hour walk. Right now, I do like 20 minutes to half an hour. Do you want to know why? Because I walk fucking fast because it's cold. Okay. I walk fast. The dog is like jogging. Okay. Because I'm like this is bullshit. So am I getting a decent workout? Sure I am because I'm speed walking because my ass is cold. So, I mean, potato, I guess, but I would rather do like an hour to an hour and a half walk, just enjoying and taking in the scenery. I can't do that. I mean, as much as I love the hoarfrost and all the trees and it's so pretty, I'm still walking at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. So it is what it is. Anyhow, we've got a lineup. Most of them are from the States. I got to go do my research on all these wonderful people. They reached out to me and they have all booked in for Devil's Advocate. So you will get some guests coming on here. I think there's one coming on actually today, but of course it's pre-recorded. So they'll be on next week. And then there's a few more coming on. So I always encourage anybody, if you want to come and talk about all of the crazy that goes on inside of your industry, in trades, or if you've got resources that you can bring on to help people know where to look to get more help, either for health, wellness, or finance, I always encourage you to come on. So you can always reach me at Lisa at lpmenterprises.net. Other than that, have a wonderful day. Catch you on the flip side and don't do anything crazy.